Signs a relationship is over. All relationships have their ups and downs, and being in a relationship takes work from time to time. But what happens when the relationship is more work than play? We look at the signs that your relationship is over and beyond repair. There are many myths about relationships that are commonly tossed around. For example, that couples shouldn't fight, that opposites attract, that it is critical to have common interests, that distance makes the heart grow fonder. Some couples may also believe that getting help for their relationship must mean they're in deep trouble, that sex and love should happen naturally, and they shouldn't have to work at it. The truth is that we've all experienced degrees of difficulty with someone we love. The occasional argument is perfectly healthy, as is having different interests and independent lives. However, when disagreements start to chip away the underlying respect in a couple, it often results in a slow decline in the motivation to patch things up. While a sudden breakup can feel a lot more shocking, it's also much clearer. A defined moment of separation, a long disintegration, on the other hand, can leave a person reeling, wondering at what point the we became an I. Every relationship is different. In recent years, there has been a very credible and reliable research about what makes relationships fail. Perhaps surprisingly, the amount you argue, the difference you hold, and the commonalities between you actually don't contribute much to your relationship's overall success. Couples can have differences that they manage very effectively when they're not under stress. One might be quieter and more withdrawn, and the other one outgoing and social. They might have good ways to negotiate this, even if it is a bit tiresome at times, and even if they occasionally wish the other was more like them. The couples could also have very poor fighting behavior, which can make them seem like they're not greater trouble than they really are. The issue that they are battling over are perhaps quite small, and to another couple, quite manageable. However, for some, it might get nasty and personal when they argue. One person may run away and refuse to engage, or the other cries and sulks, and the argument ends up lasting for days. What does real trouble look like? The most destructive relationship behaviors are those the Gutman Institute has deemed the four horsemen: criticism, defensiveness, contempt, stonewalling, and the silent treatment. Of course, contempt has been shown to be the greatest predictor of divorce. There's also other warning signs, and one or more of them are present in your relationship and may be time to take action. So there's no emotional connection. One of the key signs that your relationship is over is that the spark has gone. A foundation of a healthy relationship is that both partners feel comfortable being truly open with each other and sharing thoughts and opinions. If you are no longer vulnerable and open with your partner, it's hard to tell if the relationship is worth saving. If you're not sharing what's on your mind, it might be a sign that you no longer want a deep connection. Similarly, if you found that the usual fun banter between you is gone, or it's difficult to have engaging conversations, your bond could be getting weaker. Communication breakdown. You may notice that you and your partner rarely discuss things anymore, neither positive nor negative. Rather than solving issues when they arise, you may both sweep them under the rug, but hold on to the frustrations you feel under the surface. It's like an elephant in the room. Taking over the relationship, allowing your partner to walk all over you, or your partner allowing you to do the same, is a sign that the balance of power is off. You may feel at this stage like there's no point trying to work things out and you'd rather opt to say nothing at all. While being agreeable and non-confrontational can sometimes be an asset to a relationship, simply keeping the peace with your partner can be a sign a relationship has tipped over the edge. Aggressive or confrontational communication. The flip side to lack of communication is aggressive communication. You and your partner may be arguing a lot, constantly picking fights with each other and unwilling to patch things up. When you're dealing with constant disagreement, it can lead to anger on both sides. You may try to raise concerns with your partner, but they are dismissed, minimized, denied, or ridiculed. You may not be confident you can change your own negative behavior, let alone influence your partner to change. When people are feeling relationship frustration, it can be extremely tempting to release energy through confrontational behavior, like a pressure cooker. The rush of anger can provide a temporary feeling of satisfaction, but in the long term, this type of behavior erodes trust and respect and kills communication between partners. There's no appeal to physical intimacy. Sexual desire and intimacy can ebb and flow throughout the course of a relationship. If you're in a sexual ebb phase, it doesn't mean that there's no hope for you. Physical intimacy in all loving forms is critical for relationship sustenance. Touching releases hormones, namely oxytocin, to support the emotions of love and connection. If you can still have close, intimate, physical intimacy without sex, and you still find your partner attractive, chances are your relationship just needs a little work. If, however, you are not interested in your partner at all, that can indicate issues. If the thought of being intimate with your partner is off-putting, it can suggest that a breakup is potentially near. You don't trust them. Mistrust can spread through a relationship like wildfire, and it can happen in stages. First, it might be doubting your partner and feeling uncertain about their trustworthiness and dependability. Doubt, if unresolved, grows into suspicion. Suspicion is belief without proof. This causes anxiety and feelings of apprehension or uneasiness, which can often manifest. And when you're anxious, you become fearful, and which stops you from being open and vulnerable. Finally, when you feel fearful, you withdraw. Trust is the foundation of a committed relationship, and the lack of it eats away at a relationship from the inside. If you feel like you can't trust the person in your corner, it's a roadblock that prevents any meaningful connection in order to regain it. Both partners need to focus not only on trust itself, but on the root of problems that lead to a breakdown in the first place. You're not supporting each other and have different goals. When you're feeling down and or celebrating something exciting, having a partner there to support, encourage, and celebrate with you is one of the joys of a relationship. Not having your key person there during important times shows disconnection. One of the hardest disconnects to accept is a relationship is when partners want different things and can't or won't support each other. No matter how deeply you care for each other, if you're not planning for the same goals in life, it's difficult to realign your hopes. If you're not making time for each other to be happy as a couple, the warning signs are hard to ignore. You can't imagine a future together. One huge component of lasting relationships is envisioning your shared future together. If your view of the future doesn't align with your partner's, or if you stop talking about plans altogether, it may indicate your relationship coming to an end. So, where to go from here? Although these are negative experiences and worrying signs, they are not necessarily signs your relationship is over unless they don't change. With new ways of looking at issues and bridging the divide created by poor communication and conflict, you can take the heat out. You can rebuild enough of a bridge to see what really is between you. If you're stuck in negative cycles, seeing a professional counselor can be an excellent circuit breaker. Even agreeing to make an appointment and attending together is a start of a common platform and a new approach. Ultimately, you have to ask yourself, if the trouble between us could change, do I still love, trust, and respect my partner? Is there something important between us? You need to have a reason to do the work because it won't always be comfortable or easy.